So after 5 episodes, of which most of, if not all, covered roughly around 2 chapters worth of material, we are finally moving on to the coverage of Kimetsu no Yaiba's second volume. Chapter 8 marking the beginning of Volume 2, meaning that this episode ended roughly around the same place where Chapter 9 ended. I say roughly because the only changes that have so far been made in this series are simply the ones having to do with rearrangements of certain material, and not changes that have necessarily had anything to do with tweaking events or completely leaving material out. Though this episode did take some liberties in the sense of actually adding in some anime-only content that was pretty awesome. Though it's much like the anime-only content that was added in episode 2, where it was nothing too crazy or pivotal. In the manga, we only see this demon being hunted by a young Urokodaki right as he's about to slice through his neck. But the anime actually had some fun with this and extended the hunt quite a bit. The scene itself reminds me of something out of an old Kurosawa film. And even though this scene is not in the manga, I thought it was a nice way of letting Urokodaki's skill speak for itself, as he is a renowned swordsman. We just haven't had the pleasure of seeing him swing his blade with the intent to protect or kill. But as I mentioned earlier, this episode sticks to that 2 chapter per episode formula that we've had pretty much since the beginning of the series. And trust me, I know it's getting pretty redundant, but I always think it's worth a mention. Compared to previous episodes though, this one was really tame when it came to the action. I only really recall one action sequence, and even then Tanjirou made quick work of those demons, not even having to use one of his breath of water techniques. However, this episode did offer a lot more in terms of dialogue and world building, as the more devoted Tanjirou becomes to this cause of his, the deeper he goes into the Demon Slayer core, and the more we learn about not only it as an organization, but also the people who play their parts and aid the Demon Slayers in any way they can. Whether it be running things from behind the scenes, creating the only thing strong enough to slice through a demon's neck, or just simply taking the initiative and becoming one of these brave warriors. And I do very much enjoy how all these characters that play these different roles were portrayed and introduced. Their personalities were shown off, though there was not too much given about them as individuals, and those characters that were maybe meant to have a bit of mystery to them did. Ufotable is honestly killing it with this adaptation so far. Not only does it look and sound amazing, but the fact that the manga is so far ahead makes it so whoever is responsible for storyboarding and or directing can do so without worry. And even then, if anime only content is introduced, it so far has always been in good taste. Though I do have to say that my favorite aspect of this series so far is that with the current pacing, they're able to include as much dialogue as possible. And that's not only important for the sake of world building and exposition, but when it comes to characters, the fact that they're able to capture most of, if not all of what that character is thinking through that dialogue and give even the smallest character a fair amount of attention is absolutely brilliant. For example, last episode, I said that part of the episode was dedicated to reminding us of Tanjirou's inherent kindness. And this episode continues that, but does it with the help of the demon's backstory. Though I will say that I think there's more than kindness in Tanjirou's understanding this episode. Because you gotta look at things from Tanjirou's perspective, which is a rather unique one. Tanjirou has a sister that is also a demon, though acts in a completely different manner than every demon Tanjirou has so far run into in this journey of his. Nezuko could be eating humans, could have tried to eat Urokodaki in order to regain energy, but no, she just slept for a long time. And if you're Tanjirou, maybe you just can't help wonder why. If Nezuko can do that, why can't every other demon? Why must demons resort to a life where they take from others? Does eating humans get them closer to a goal of theirs, or is it just mindless slaughter? Tanjirou, because of Nezuko, his sister, being a demon, is not necessarily forced to, but again, taking his kindness into consideration, is able to see these demons for what they once were, and I guess believe that they too should have this possibility of turning back to normal. Because remember, every demon has once been a human. And this episode made it quite clear that although demons are no longer human, it does not mean that their humanity, their sense of self, has wavered. I mean, something pulled Nezuko back from almost killing Tanjirou. Something made her able to resist the temptation of eating those corpses a couple of episodes ago. I think it's important to remember that the odds of every demon having some sort of tragic backstory, the likes of which we saw this episode, are pretty high. So I guess the question is, will being this kind-hearted person who tries to protect but at the same time understands, or at the very least sympathizes with the very things he's trying to protect people from, be something that Tanjirou will benefit from? Or will it be something that hinders him and Nezuko throughout their journey? But hey, these are my thoughts and I'm curious to read yours. If you're an anime only, let me know how you felt about this episode. How do you think Tanjirou will fare in his first official mission as a demon slayer, and do you think he'll meet any interesting characters along the way? These questions though are absolutely pointless because by the time this video goes up, episode 6 would have already aired, so who the fuck cares? And if you're a manga reader, let me know how you felt Ufotable adapted this episode, and what parts do you think they could have done a better job with, if any. Also, feel free to discuss anything I forgot to mention in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel and to hit that bell. That way you don't miss a video and can continue watching Kimetsu no Yaiba and many other series with me. I sincerely apologize for the lack of videos in the last week, though I do appreciate your patience. Though my semester is officially over today or yesterday, depending on when you see this video, and that means that videos should be going up a lot more consistently than before. Again, thank you for your patience, and with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.